So what if I were to talk about addiction? We think about addiction, we think about ourselves and about how we're fighting these battles. And, it's so hard. We constantly go back and forth on what I'm doing and, oh, I'm failing and all of these different things. And it just seems to be like never ending. It just, you're fighting and it's just nonstop. And it doesn't seem to be any relief. And so then, of course, even if you did good for a period of time, it seems like that you're always just back on track. You're back where you were before. And but what if I were to tell you that what you're doing is the wrong method? Okay. And you're saying to yourself, what do you mean it's the wrong method? What I mean by what a wrong method is that you're going into this battle yourself. And you're going into it with the idea that, hey, listen, I'm going to conquer. I'm going to do this. And that you're fighting it all alone. And you might get some help from friends patting you on the back and whatnot. But when they're gone, you're left alone. And when you're left alone, that's where we run into problems. And these problems, obviously, if you see any parts of any addiction of it, then you're back in it wholeheartedly again. But what if I were to tell you that the battle is not really you and your addiction? What if I were to reword that and come in from a different angle and say to you that the addiction is not your problem? What it is that you're fighting the wrong enemy. And the enemy is not you and whatever it may be. If it's drinking, let's just say it's drinking, It's not the alcohol that's your problem. The alcohol sits in the bottle, minds its own business until you pick it up. So the battle really isn't the alcohol. The battle is coming from you. But what if I were to say to you that the battle also is from the enemy? And what I'm talking about, the enemy, is Satan himself. What if I'm saying to you that if you're just sitting there, a bottle of alcohol sitting there on the table isn't the problem. It doesn't get up, the cap comes off and comes over, pours itself a drink, and then holds you down and has you drink. But what if I were to say to you, just like the cartoons when we were kids, that the enemy is right there, right in the ear, kind of like like when you have a best friend and you want to go out and you want to like meet that girl across the way and he's telling you, hey man, hey, she's looking at you, she likes you, or hey, go ahead, you can do this, you can go talk to her, something on that idea. This is what Satan does to you. Satan is sitting there telling you, hey man, that alcohol looks really good, there's no one around. It says free right on it. You have a cup. No one will know. Hey, just take it. You're going to feel better. What if he's telling you that from the more time you just wake up to the time you go to bed? What if that's really happening? How are you going to resist day in and day out? Now, it's easy when you have a group of men or women with you or friends or whatever telling you, no, no, no. But what if every time you're alone, which is probably 75% of your daytime or in your night, obviously, but he's whispering that to you and he's telling you and coaxing you on to do this. And if you notice, you fail mostly when you're alone. So if that's the case, what if the enemy is not the alcohol, the enemy is it, and you're fighting the wrong person? You're fighting the wrong demon. The demon is the prince of air, and he's in charge of this world, and his only mission is to get you to feel like you can't do it, that you're worthless, you're weak, and you're just destined to be a failure. What if he's telling you this on a daily basis? You're fighting the wrong enemy. But we do know how to do that. And there's actually a whole entire book about just that alone. And that's the Bible. So if you want to win, you need to know who your enemy is, what is his schemes, what is his plans, but more importantly, you also need to know what God says about you, because he says straight up that he created you in his own image, which is perfect, and that he loves you and that he's there. But we need to know who the players are in this battle. And the other thing is too is that you want to consider who's on your side. You know, like if, for instance, I had an opportunity to throw a football 20 I think it was like 25 yards through a tire. And in the I'd win $100,000. But anyway, so what happened was it said in the notes there that I can do it myself or I can bring somebody along with me. And I'm like, okay. So I went through my list because I'm not really good. I got small hands. I can't throw a football that great. I can throw a Nerf football pretty good, but not a real football. I can't even throw the thing. Anyway, I went through my list. I have my best friend, you know, he plays wiffle ball. He doesn't play football, so he's not going to be a good help for that. However, I do have an older friend that was a quarterback in high school, early parts of the high school, but he dropped out. But what you don't know is that I have a family member. His name happens to be Tom Brady. Tom Brady now, we all know. We know all about Tom Brady, don't we? We know that he is one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. We know that, you know, he's just a winner wherever he goes, okay? Now, I don't really know him, all right? He's an outside family member. And so, but what I do know is he's a good man. And I know that if I go and write to him and ask him and say, hey, listen, Tom, I need you to come. I just need you to throw a football through a thing for me. Would you be willing to do that? Would you step up for me? I know he will. Okay, and a matter of fact, not only do I know he will, I asked that. I says, Tom, could you help me? I'm in trouble. I need you. Could you help me with this? He came down, threw the football, right through, first shot, all done, winner. Now, if that was true, which it isn't, you can compare your father, God himself, as like a Tom Brady, but much, much greater. He actually created the earth, the football, and everything else along in it. But don't you want to go to battle with somebody who is a winner, who is always with you, always at the time, will always fight for you, and never let you down? That's our Father, and that's why we want to learn on how to go to Him to fight the battles that are in front of us. So that's just a thought for you guys, and then we can always pick this up another time.